Hello, everybody. I am Haley Lynn Gray, and I am your guide here through the Alchemy of Successful Online Marketing Summit. And I am so glad to be here with you here today. I have a phenomenal guest speaker, and her name is Janice Means. And Janice Means, MBA, is the president of Marketing with JR, Common Sense Marketing with Extraordinary Results. Janice spent years in corporate IT interwoven with various marketing stints. Janice brings her Fortune 50 experience to you with a focus on traditional offline marketing strategies. However, she is pretty savvy online to make sure that the online and offline strategies complement one another. And that is very, very important. Welcome, Janice. So glad to have you here.
Thank you, Haley, and glad for the opportunity. And I'm sure these tips will make some people go, why didn't I think of this sooner? So I'm ready to get started.
Let's do it.
Okay, so as you all heard, it's 5 tips to make it easier for your clients to do business with you. These tips are things that you can do for no cost and just a little bit of time investment. I've seen people when I go through this, they've done it in an afternoon and got it set up. So that's why I say, why didn't I do this sooner? Because you can do it now. So our first tip is fix your sent from my iPhone, sent from my iPad, sent from my Android, sent from my LG Mobile, sent from T-Mobile, whatever the sent from is. I don't know about you, but when I'm trying to do business with somebody, there are times when I need to call them or need to get in contact with them. And my famous example for this, it's a little offline, but it works because you got 2 realtors. Both are having an open house. Both open houses start at 4 o'clock. It's 3:30. You email both realtors. One realtor responds with, yes, I'll hang around, but they don't leave a phone number. The other realtor emails, yes, I'll hang around, and gives all their contact information. You can call realtor number 2 and say, we're on our way. Please don't leave without us in case we're a few minutes late. Realtor 1 loses the open house showing. So those kinds of examples work for all kinds of industries, all kinds of situations where you're looking for to get a hold of somebody. And if you're not one who uses the phone, or you're not one who wants contact, then put your website, put your email address, but give that client who emailed you from somewhere online, because an open house, I've never talked to that realtor before. How do I know how to get a hold of them? So if you've given the email address, or maybe it's your website where you have a contact form, so they don't even know what email address they sent to, when you send back, it may say, please respond again on our contact form. But you want to be able to give that client an easier way to get in touch with you. So you're going to say, well, I don't know how to fix it. This is where Google becomes your friend. Depending on what kind of phone you have, there's a settings tab for email signature lines. And the keyword is how to change my signature on my iPhone, how to change my signature on my Samsung, whatever, Galaxy. And it'll walk you through the steps. Those things are very easy. If you can Google, you can find the answer. And guess what? You have now made it easier for that client who sends you a message how to get in touch with you. Our next tip. Number 2, set up your outgoing voicemail. How many times have you called somebody trying to do business with them, and it rings and rings and rings, and then you hear click? You got nothing. You don't know what to do. You dial the phone number again. Did I dial wrong? I can't believe the business that I'm trying to get a hold of went click. You dial again and you get click. Or you get the message, you've reached a subscriber whose voicemail has not been set up. Or the one I love is you listen to the 10 rings and then it goes, goodbye. Or the subscriber whose voicemail is reached has a full mailbox. Or you just get the beep. All voicemails have the option for you to set without any charge. It's part of the functionality for you to send an outgoing message. That outgoing message you can record. And again, if you don't know how to do this, is where Google becomes your friend. You Google how to set it up for that. You set an outgoing message. If you do not return calls, if you do not listen to voicemail, because I know in today's world, some people don't do that, and I'm not saying that's good or bad. What I'm saying is that communicate that to the caller. let them know, hey, this is Janice with Marketing with JR. And unfortunately, the number of call volume I get, I'm not able to respond to voicemails. So I prefer that you email me, or I prefer that you go to my website and submit a form there. Give the client the option to get in touch with you. Give them information. If you actually have business hours, say I have set up business hours. Or we're going to talk about shortly, go to my calendar and set up a time to talk to me. So what I'm saying is communicate to that person who called, give them the courtesy of giving them as much as information as you can, outgoing, that this is the best way to get a hold of me. Our third tip, I already led into this, is pick a calendar tool that allows you to schedule time. I put a couple up here. I personally use Time Trade. I know Haley uses Acuity. I know other people who use Calendly. You need to pick the tool that integrates with your calendar the best for you. Different ones have different pricing. I'm not here to promote any one in particular one. What I'm saying is, though, this gives the option for people, instead of playing email tag, I'm available this day. Nope, I'm not available this day. The person you give the calendar to says, here, I set up a 15-minute time schedule. Pick a slot that works for you. And you can do that in person or on the phone. On one of my calendar, I have two different sets of calendars that I use. And they have the option of if they want an in-person one or on the phone. On the phone has more options because I don't have to drive to get there. If I'm going to meet them in person, there's the driving time that's considered. So you pick the tool that makes it easy for that customer client to meet with you and do that. And you can set it as small as 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or you can set them all day. They'll integrate with your actual calendar and you won't double book. What a novel concept. And then you don't have to look for, oh, my schedule's busy. So there you go, tip number 3. And by the way, a lot of them have free options. So if you say, I don't want to pay, or I can't afford to integrate this into my system, a lot of them have single user free options till your business is big enough to support a multi-calendar system. Option 4, or tip number 4, getting your online profile accurate. I don't care if it's your personal profile or your business profile. A lot of you have personal businesses or coaching businesses or solopreneur businesses where your brand is you. Then you want to make sure that your personal profile is very accurate. If you have a business that's different you, so mine, Marketing with JR, is not just me, but whatever tool you choose, and I'm by all means not saying you need to do all of these, but I think you need to be all of them. If your personal brand is your brand, you want to make sure it's your LinkedIn profile, and if you have your website are accurate. And when I say accurate, make sure that your email addresses are accurate, make sure your phone numbers are accurate, make sure your name is accurate. What'll happen is a lot of these social media tools like Yelp and Foursquare and some of the ones I don't even have listed on here, they'll figure out what your website is and they take a snapshot of your website and they populate it. Google Plus, when it was first out, was famous for doing that. Now it's called Google Business and Google Local, but those kinds of things populate. So you need to pick the tools that are most accurate for you and make sure that you always are consistent in keeping those accurate. Do take the time if you can to claim your Yelp, claim your Google listing, claim your Foursquares, but you don't have to invest a lot of time in keeping those updated. If you just have them claimed, then when people try to change them, you'll get an email that says, hey, this person wants you to change this or do that. I don't know about all of you, but in my Facebook profiles for my business, I have gotten email messages that says, hey, we think your category should change or this or that. And in some cases, it's been true. I have liked the category they've suggested. Sometimes it's because it was an upgrade on Facebook. Sometimes it was because somebody suggested a different one. So keep that in mind. And by all means, do not worry about getting on all these. Oh, one other thing I wanted to point out here is if you in your business, if there's a specific tool that works best. I know therapists have special social services sites that talk about profiles and stuff. By all means, get on those sites. Use that as one of your primary ones that you focus on, and then maybe your website, and then some of the other stuff is secondary. But you have to pick the 1 or 2 or 3 sites that are going to be your core, and you always make sure those core ones are updated. All right, so our next thing here is that we're going to do is finally the brand consistency. And why this is important is you want to know who people you are. So I talked a little bit about making sure that your online was consistent between your phone numbers, your address, whatever. The other thing is important is whatever you consider your brand. So if you are your brand, then you want to have accurate pictures of yourself. If you have a logo and you've spent money in logo development, you want to use that logo consistently with the colors that is intended through your website, through your business cards, through your media, your Facebook headers, Instagram, whatever tools you're using, you want that brand consistency. You say, well, why is that important? The name's important. It's who I am. I have several stories where I've worked with clients where they weren't consistent, and somebody went along and just tweaked the name a little bit and used the same colors and stole all their business. One of them was a seal coder. So this was, offline, but the same thing can happen online as well. But the seal coder used red, white, and blue and had a name that had 3 syllables to it. I don't want to give their name away for their own privacy. But what happened is the next year, another company knew who their customer base was, and they used the same red, white, and blue colors, but tweaked the name just a little bit. And people were confused because year after year, the first seal coder always used red, white, and blue, but they didn't use the same logo. They kept changing their logo and they kept changing different things. And so when the new red, white, and blue flyer came out, the people in this subdivision had no idea that they had called the other seal coder until it got done, and it wasn't the same job, that it wasn't done as nicely. And then the original seal coder came along and said, what do you mean I already did it? I haven't been here yet. So there's an example of why with your brand consistency, it would have prevented that happening. He would not have lost that business if he would have been consistent year to year to year. Those people would have realized he was the same guy versus a different guy. I have many other stories where that's happened, but be consistent. Oh, another one. I had a bakery. They had a lovely cupcake as a logo, but then they also just had the word bakery. And what they had done is they had spent all this money designing this lovely logo that was a cupcake that was multiple colors and stuff. But when you start trying to print that, it can be costly. Instead of making a 1-color version of the cupcake, their black and white logo just had the word bakery on it. And again, people didn't know it was the same bakery. So this is why I want you to understand brand consistency and looking through your different products and stuff and being consistent online, offline, together. You want your customer to know when they found you, they know you, they see you. I think that's it. If there's any questions you want to ask Haley for us to join for these 5 tips.
These are really helpful. I think that so many times we think that marketing and branding has to be something that's expensive or difficult or whatever. And I think that this just goes to show that some of it's just plain simple common sense.
And they're easy to change. They don't need to cost any money. I mean, the first couple, you just Google and you can figure it out and do it yourself. If you're not, that tech savvy and that you need to do it, you can probably find a teenager that can help you. Mm-hmm. If not, there's always some of us who are a little more proficient are happy to help you, but they don't have to cost you money. And that's why I always call them common sense marketing, because it really is the number of people that you make a call and you can't get through and you don't know that you dialed the right number, because you know, we're all imperfect, and so we can dial the wrong number. So
Absolutely.
take that time and make these small changes. It'll make a huge difference in your business.
Absolutely. I agree. If somebody wanted to find you, how would they go about finding you online?
The easiest way is to go to my website, marketingwithjr-academy.com. You could also find me on Facebook as Marketing with JR.
Okay. Marketingwithjr-academy.com
Is the website, yes.
And you have a free download that you're offering to our audience. What exactly is that?
So it'll get you access to a 4-series video that helps you increase your leads, which will help you increase your possible clients, and it'll walk you through helping to convert those as well. So the 4 videos give you the 4 pieces to that, and there's more information there. And if you do sign up for those 4 videos, you'll probably get an email at the end that you can get free access to the actual academy for a short period of time, which has lots of pre-written, like thousands of dollars of pre-written marketing media that you could use too.
Fantastic. Good stuff. Thank you so much. This has been really helpful. You know, and sometimes it's the simple stuff that makes the biggest difference in our businesses.
Absolutely.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Janice. This has been a real pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.